by conference coaches. What is the biggest? You guys were picked third last year, I believe, and you won the conference tournament. Is there any motivation you guys get out of being picked second or third, and it's not first place in the preseason, or is this just the preseason?
I think it's just the preseason. I think it shows the great balance in the league. There's a lot of publications that pick Old Dominion maybe going to the NCAA tournament, and they have a great chance, and I think they were picked maybe fifth, So I think it just shows just the balance, the number of good players, and I think we're going to see the best Conference USA race we've seen in a long time.
There's a lot of change in the conference as far as new faces and coaches and new players and grad transfers at WKU and elsewhere. What do you expect this year out of a conference that could be unpredictable?
I think that we've got 7 or 8 all-league players returning. You've got a team UAB who won the regular season with practically their whole team back. And so they're going to be a really, maybe a top 25 team. And then you get a storied program and one of the best coaches in college basketball, Tim Floyd, that's at UTEP, and his teams maybe picked 6th, 7th, or 8th. So that's when UTEP can get picked like that, and as good a coach as Tim, and they've got good players returning, then obviously we know exactly what kind of league we're in.
Do you think Conference USA as a league is overlooked at times for the amount of depth it has? I know last year I asked that same question at the basketball tip-off dinner, and I think it was referred to that they're such underrated. Do you believe this league is underrated?
Well, we got to do a good job to get it rated, and as coaches and as teams. I think that when Memphis left the league, I think then the league settled, and now I think we knew it was going to take 2 or 3 years to gain Conference USA's identity back. That was just the normal process, and I think you see that now. I think you got Marshall and Charlotte, who's been such good basketball names, are really starting to be good. I think the bottom half of the league is going to continue to get better. So Southern Mississippi coming off NCAA probation, that program, will get back to winning a lot of games. So I just think that you wait and see the next 2 or 3 years, the league's going to creep right back up to a top 10, 12 league, and we all hope getting multiple teams in.
Do you think Middle Tennessee could take in-state Memphis' spot as the league power?
Well, you would sure hope. That's sure our aspirations. I don't know if it's a league power, but we sure hope to. I think I'm proud of what we've done in Conference USA in 3 years. Aldo, I really am. Sometimes teams take jumps into leagues, and it's hard. And for us to win the regular season the first year, get beat in the championship game the second year, and win the tournament last year. So I think it shows that we belong. So I like our footprint and where we're going, but we've still got a ton of work ahead of us.
What was the biggest takeaway from the NCAA tournament run that you guys really took from that run and implemented in the off-season and headed into the preseason?
I think when you get a taste of doing something national like that against a program and you see all the attention that it brings, that's such a great feeling, at least for me. I don't know if I've ever been driven harder as a coach and a staff to really try to uplift the program to higher standards. I'm not saying we're going to beat Michigan State in the NCAA tournament, but trying to get a little more national footing. I tell our players all the time, though, Aldo, we got to go through the process. That you can't just fast forward it to Michigan State start. We got to go through all the tough things in October and November, and hopefully we're going through that right now.
Coach, if you can, which one of your players that you saw that was not so much in awe, but actually looked at the situation once you all got to the tournament and says, you know what, we belong here, and just said, told the rest of the guys in the locker room, this is our time to put a stamp, put our brand out here, and let folks know that Conference USA is not Memphis that left. There are other teams and all in this conference that can carry the banner and keep moving.
I think that. I really think our seniors last year did it. Giddy Potts and Reggie Upshaw, our 2 leading scorers, were underclassmen that are back. I thought Perrin Buford he played with such a kind of arrogance and a bravado in a good way that I think he kind of set the tone in practice. But our teams over the last 2 or 3 or 4 years, we've beaten UCLA and Ole Miss and Vanderbilt and Tennessee. So I think that we beat Auburn early in the year. So I think they kind of strived in the moment. And they weren't in awe at all. They were excited about playing the game, and we did. We played a heck of a 40 minutes.
As a coach, you talk to the guys, especially in the off season, the ones that are coming back, and says, you know, last season was last season. We got a new day. Conference is up. We're going to reschedule some games now in non-conference to make us better, to prepare us for what's down the road. How did the guys take that conversation with you?
You know, I think that our work this summer was good. We got to get right back to the toughness and the basics of winning college basketball games. You know, we've had in our program, you know, we have 2 really good players coming back, and we had about 5 or 6, 7 guys that contributed. But those guys have got to make jumps, you know, to be starters and to really contribute. And I think they've made it to a point. I thought we reached a little stretch in September where we thought, like I just said, we're just going to fast forward it to the NCAA tournament again. And we really, I don't know if we really thought we're fixing to have to really go through this tough process. And it is a long, grinding process to get to November the 11th. And so we've kind of redirected attitudes and kind of got it back to where I think we're going to go through the process again.
Well, is it better for a coach when you got there, when you have to kind of like dial them down rather than dial them up to start the season off?
Yeah, you know, I think everybody, we all want high expectations. That's what we work every day for. We want it. We want your fans to have high expectations. That's what we all work for. And but you can't let the outside noise affect the inside play in your gym. And I think sometimes, you know, when our guys are going to the ESPYs and we're doing all the different things and we're honored at the Titans games and all that. And so, but that's my job, to settle our guys down and settle them in to the work at hand. And they've been a good, mature group. So I think that won't be the reason we won't be successful this year.
One last question for me. Your non-conference schedule, what was an upgrade and what did you, as far as who you played last year, and that you needed to return a game at home or on the road? Yeah,
you know, we won the Great Alaskan Shootout last year, which was a great step for us early in the season, just to go win a good tournament, a national tournament. Then we had VCU at home, lost a heartbreaker there, but it was a great college game. It did us a lot of good. Beat Auburn, which was good. This year we have Vanderbilt at home. We return the game to VCU. We're starting a 4-year series at Ole Miss, and then I think you start playing teams like Belmont, Murray State, Georgia State, I mean, Toledo, Evansville, Wilmington. I mean, you've got a lot of really, really good so-called, I guess, mid-majors, if they want to call us all that. But, I mean, NCAA tournament teams that are going to I think have to be a chance to be champions in their league.
You know, we all know about the players individually. You know, Giddey led the nation in three-point shooting percentage last year, you know, nationally, but he's a quiet guy. How did he handle the attention? You know, he's a quiet guy. He doesn't really like the limelight. How did he really handle it, coming back as arguably the conference's top player?
Yeah, he's held it great. I mean, he's worked. His body is even shaped better. His body fat's lower than it's ever been in his life, probably since he was born, I guess, probably. You know, he came here kind of an overweight kid, but he's done great. He's been such a good leader. He's a quiet leader. He's got such a good disposition. He's the kind of guy, too, like in that era or in that arena that night, you know, he just kind of plays, and that's who he is. And so he's done really well. He's had a good fall.
Can you tell us a little bit about the addition of Rick Stansbury right up the road at WKU, and they've already gained momentum, you know, with their program, with him being there in such a short time. What does his addition bring to the conference?
Well, I think number one, he's at a really good basketball school. And when I first got the job in Middle Tennessee 15 years ago, our record, I think our overall record against Western is like 33-93, or 39-93 for the whole storied deal. So that was kind of something that we were trying to chase, facilities, the whole thing. And so it's something I think that, you know, we've kind of had in our sights. Now it's turned into a really good rivalry. We've kind of had the best of the rivalry over the last 3 or 4 years. But as many good teams as we can have in our league helps us. We want everybody looking at the paper and Western signing good players, UAB, UTEP, us, everybody. That's just what happens in really good leagues. So the more non-conference games we can win in November and December, Aldo, it's just going to help us as a league. So I think the rivalry will definitely heat back up again.
Okay.
Coach Davis, appreciate your time.
Thank you, Jerry. All right, appreciate it. Thanks, Aldo.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, man.